Hello again, my name's Gabe Zollner. What did I hear? I know. Actually, I didn't hear it. I looked it up, wanted to see what the status was. And I'm referring to the Green Acres boarding kennel. As many of you may know, Sheriff Joe Arpaio did about a 6-month investigation before he brought charges against Austin Flake and his wife, Melissa Flake, and the parents of Melissa Flake, who owned the Green Acres boarding kennel. And apparently what had happened was 21 dogs died. They were all stuffed in, I believe, an 8x10 room. The people that owned those dogs paid the Melissa's parents, who owned the boarding kennel, to look after those animals. And in their absence, both Melissa and Austin were looking after the boarding kennel. Sheriff Joe, again, spent 6 months doing his investigation before he filed charges. And the charges he filed were 21 counts of animal cruelty based on those dogs dying. The grand jury looked into the case, and they concluded as well that charges should be filed and that a court date for a trial should be set. And then what happened was the local power utility company, they sent a report to the attorney saying that there was a power failure. SRP had a power failure which caused the air conditioning units to shut down. And as a result, all the dogs in that room, or most of the dogs in that room, died from heat exhaustion. The grand jury again ruled that there was sufficient cause for a trial. And as it turned out, the Flakes attorneys went back and tried to convince whomever that their clients, meaning Melissa, Austin, and Melissa's parents, shouldn't be held accountable because the problem was the power company experienced the failure, would turn off the AC units. Okay, let's say that's what happened. How long do you think it would take rooms to cool down that were air conditioned if a power failure occurred? 2 minutes? 10 minutes? An hour? 2 hours? Well, that can be determined, and it should be determined, because the Flakes themselves, both Melissa and Austin, were looking after the boarding kennels. They were looking after the animals. Now, I don't know where they were when the power failed, nor do I know how long they were gone. But those animals were left in the care of Green Acres boarding kennel. And if Melissa's parents gave both Melissa and Austin the responsibility to look after those animals, and if they died, someone other than the power company is responsible for their deaths. Now, if that were you or me, we'd probably be serving our sentence. But you know who Austin Flake is? He's the son of Senator Jeffrey the Flake Flake. Why do I call Jeffrey the Flake Flake Jeffrey the Flake Flake? Well, there's a few reasons. When Jeffrey the Flake Flake was a congressman, after serving his 3rd term, he said he won't serve anymore. And he went ahead and he ran, and he served another 2 terms before he became a senator. And when he was asked about what he said when he said it, you know what his response was? A smart aleck, smart ass, I lied. Well, you know what? The American people just saw how justice in Arizona really works. It's not a matter of what you do, it's a matter of who you know. And these animals suffered because they were neglected by both Melissa and Austin Flake, who were responsible for their care. So don't tell me that a grand jury rules that they should be tried and then they're not tried? I sat on a grand jury for months. The whole thing is disgusting. And it just goes to prove the elitists can get away with murder. And in this case, the murder of 21 animals. That's what I think. So what do you think? You're going to go write a letter to Jeffrey the Flake Flake? You think he gives a damn? Who are you going to contact? You're going to contact the Attorney General? You think he gives a damn? Nobody gives a damn about those animals. They're gone. And that Green Acres should be torn down as a memorial for those dogs. That's what I think. For you folks that know me, you know I'm a dog person. And I hate seeing animals suffer unnecessarily due to the stupid people that are in charge of looking after them. Both of these flakes should have served some time. That's what I think. So what do you think?